So thank you, Ken, first of all, for that great presentation, because it's right up my alley. I love skin physiology, and it's always good to hear, again, the basics and the foundations of how skin works. And I'm happy to be here in this presentation, and I'm going to speak about wellness in kind of a different perspective. And I won't be speaking about ingredients, but more of how we are in this environment today where we need to really look at what more is there that we've learned from the last year of just being in COVID, and how we can address our consumer with developing products to help them not only in the benefit outside, but also connecting with them internally. So this is why I've named my presentation the Mind Beauty Connection, and it's kind of a look at the wellness shift from a neurological perspective. So just a quick update about what I do. I do product development in the beauty industry. My company is Beauty Edge. I've been a consultant for 15 years now. And product development, everything from creative marketing to business development, technology introductions, trends like today, speaking. And one of the new services that I'm offering is called digital wellness. And you can find digital wellness, more about information on that on my website. It's www.beautyedgeinc.com. There is a drop down there. Cecilia, if you can kind of just put that in the chat. And what digital wellness is about is really looking at how we engage online from a perspective that we are flourishing. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we're shutting down social media, but really time tracking and how we're engaging with everyone else in our day-to-day, because we kind of been thrown into this environment called Zoom or other platforms that we're kind of on for 24/7. So what I'll be covering today is kind of like a process of going from lifestyle to product development to neuro wellness. And the reason why we want to go through this process is we really want to understand what our consumer is experiencing. So we're looking at their lifestyle first before we can even develop a product. And where I'm connecting the dots are more of the neuromarketing and the more neurosciences that are going on in the world of digital and AI and our brains and our feelings and everything else that we've kind of experienced very quickly over this last year. So the first piece is lifestyle. And the lifestyle really is a global priority right now as far as wellness. I'm sorry, I have to move. For some reason, I'm seeing too many things open here, and I have a lot of boxes. I see us on the right corner, so I'm sorry, kind of moving that out of the way. On my end, you can't see what I'm doing here. So anyway, the estimate of this market for wellness globally is $1.5 trillion, the market value. That's a lot of opportunity for us. And what happened is McKinsey had a survey, and they just completed this. It was in 6 different countries, roughly 7,500 consumers, asking them about wellness. So 79% of these global consumers reported that wellness is very important for their health and well-being, especially now, right? We're continually looking at how we can maintain a better lifestyle on a day-to-day basis. 42% considered it very important and a top priority. And this engagement and this focus has really increased up to 65% over the last 2 to 3 years. So being in the beauty industry, yes, we have skincare, yes, we have personal care, hair care, all those other areas and categories. Wellness is really, it's been there, but COVID just kind of pushed us over the edge to take a very, very hard look and look at the opportunities that are available for us as developers, as brand strategists, R&D and such, all of the different divisions, and servicing the consumer who's really looking for these types of products. So again, looking at lifestyle, we have to look at where our consumer is right now. What are we currently feeling? And this is a little bit different than what we looked at is before, when we do product development, we look competitively at our different products. We would look at demographics. We'd look at where people were living, how they used different products and such. But there's this new piece that we're really starting to bring into the development, and that's how are people feeling? And one of the areas that I thought was very interesting that's being explored is this place called languishing. And this was coined by Adam Grant. He just wrote an article in the New York Times. And again, it was current. This was just updated in April of 2021. And languishing is kind of in this space of kind of like not being depressed, but not really being hopeful or joyful about things that are happening, because we've been in this emotional long haul with a pandemic. We're tired. All of us are tired, whether we want to say we are or not. There's different parts of our lives that have been touched. And it's not just us here locally, it's from a global perspective. So we're all feeling this. And it's kind of the sense of being a little bit joyless, a little bit aimless. Or an example would be, say you wake up in the morning and you pick up your phone and you're just finding yourself kind of scrolling down that rabbit hole. Okay, what's new on social media? Or going just email after email. And yes, we have events in our life that we're still attending to. And yes, things are opening, but this space of languishing is an opportunity for us to connect even closer to our consumer by providing products that kind of bring up energy, or if we're too stressed out, calm us down. Again, going back to this report, the different areas of what were viewed really give us an opportunity to look at how we can create products in these different sectors. So definitely people are invested in better health, and telemedicine has really just moved us over the threshold of what we had before of going to the doctors. Now you can go to the doctor online even more and getting our updates. But how do we develop products around supporting the healthcare system? How do we develop products maybe in supplements or in nutrition, or even taking someone through a personal care collection that helps to make them feel better, help them feel better in their health? Fitness for sure, with the way that a lot of the gyms had to shut down. Where did people go? They went outside. I'm a runner myself, and I have noticed a lot more runners and beginners, and they're out there and they're doing their thing and they're trying to stay fit. As we open up again, yes, there's opportunities to go back into the gyms, but there's also opportunities for us to connect with the consumer and create products that would help to complement their workout. Better nutrition, for sure. We're looking at what we're eating. We're cooking at home more these days. And then again, are there scents that we can address within the home, within the lifestyle, within the environment that is happening there? Better appearance. This is kind of our market right here in the category of beauty products and collagen supplements. Again, that has bumped up. Supplements in general have bumped up in the wellness sector. Sleep, another category. I'm going to address this later in the presentation, but sleep for sure. We have all of the apps that have really come to the surface, like Calm, where there's bedtime stories. It's an app that you can download if you're not familiar with it. I think pretty much people are familiar with a lot of these, like Headspace, like how are we trying to calm ourselves down, get better sleep, get focused, and we can still develop products to complement those areas. And then the last piece, and this is one of my favorite areas, is mindfulness. And mindfulness was around pre-COVID, but again, and people spoke about it, it's like mindfulness, oh yeah, mindfulness meditation. Now it's being incorporated into company sectors. It's being incorporated into school and education. It's being incorporated into work from home spaces. It's being incorporated into every place and every aspect of our daily life. And again, this is a space that we can create products around to help that person who wants to get focused at the moment, or take a 10-minute break, or really just kind of realign themselves during the daytime. Again, I have on my website, there's a drop down on mindfulness, and on that page is a booklet. that I put together. It's the Mindfulness Guide by Beauty Edge. And what I've done is created 7 different exercises that you can do that are 10 minutes each, but you're combining them with a personal care product. So if you're not familiar with mindfulness, you kind of can hop on there and take a look. So going into product development, I'm going to kind of take us through more of the feeling part of what I was explaining earlier. And this is a slide that I presented in the end of 2019, of October 2019 at Beauty Accelerate. And the side is on the left side, how you're viewing this, how do we develop products? Normally we developed products through our 5 senses, something we're seeing, smelling, hearing, touching, tasting, whether it's a lip product or a body product. It's very sensorial. What I said at that time was, and I kind of crossed it out in red, was how we'll develop products moving forward. Well, we're at forward already. A few months later, we just have been catapulted into this next area. And this is really how we're developing products to 21 and going forward. And that piece is moving the psychological connection into product development. So what I said at that time, it's time to combine sensory, mindfulness, and digital marketing science in beauty product development. And so this is a space that I'm going to be speaking about over the next few slides. And kind of want to premise this as this doesn't have to be the way you do product development, but it certainly is a place to explore specifically for wellness, because wellness, we're looking at feeling better, we're looking at flourishing, we're looking at how to live our lives in a more healthy way. And that includes every piece. It's not just the outside, it's the inside and the outside. So neuro-wellness, I would say, is more of a mind and skin experience. It's combining kind of the psychological and sensory connection together. So it's looking at our brains, at our inner feelings, and how we're from a tactical perspective, not tactical, but tactile perspective, how we're bringing that all together. There's an emotional connection that we're looking for as well. So the emotional connection could be a feeling of inner peace. The emotional connection could be joy. The emotional connection could be a sense of energy, because we're going through all of these changes right now that are kind of taking us through these stages that are, it's like a pendulum swing sometimes, and it's hard to get back and focused and in balance. And then combining all of these together, so sensory, mindfulness, and neuroscience in one perspective. So I wanted to present just a few different thoughts of what's going on in other areas to take a look at, because as we develop products, we have to take into consideration, it's not just the product itself, it's how we're marketing the product, it's how other brands outside of beauty are marketing products, whether they're cars or food or travel. Like, what are the things that they are using as well to help to really connect with the consumer and to bring them to that space. So the first piece is called cross-module perception. So it's the senses that are crossing paths to create a new experience. And one example that I can give you for this is there is a company called Sense. It's pretty sure it's SZENTZ. And what it is, it's a bottle of water, and at the neck is a different color of a ring around the neck of the bottle. So if you just take a water bottle and you put like an orange ring around it, or a green ring, or a red or blue, that ring itself just around the neck of the bottle is also scented. So let's take the color orange. So the one that's orange is scented in a tangerine. So as you're drinking the water, it's not flavored water, it's plain water, but because you are smelling and seeing the orange as you're drinking it, there's a perception going on with your brain that you're drinking a flavored water. So this to me is something that I think in the beauty industry, we've never really focused on how do we look at cross-modal perception so that we're creating a new experience for the consumer as she's using or he is using products in their day-to-day basis. So that's one neurological connection we can look at. Another one is, it's called frisson. Frisson, and I'm not French, so I'm hoping I'm not killing that. But this is the response of a connection between our brain and the skin. So an example for this would be, say you have a favorite song and you're hearing it and it brings you back to a certain place and it kind of gives you goosebumps on your skin. So the manifestation of that whole connection of what goes through your brain through your feelings, and then it comes up on your skin as a reaction immediately, is called frisson. So there's a lot of study that's going on with this, but again, this is an area that I think in beauty that we can explore even further to make that connection of a new experience that we can be talking about and be creating for the consumer. And then the last piece is psychodermatology. So psychodermatology is pretty straightforward. And I think Kenny may have referenced this earlier. These are emotional triggers that can cause skin eruptions on the skin. So for example, if we're under a lot of stress, can that cause psoriasis? Can it cause dry skin? Can it cause itchiness and those types of things? It can, but it starts where? It starts in the brain, right? Because we're stressed. So again, as a beauty industry, how do we, in the wellness perspective, look at how to connect the dots on this so that these are areas that we can explore and provide products for the consumer so that they can kind of go about their day-to-day life in a way that they feel a little bit more in control of the things that they can use. Two neurodisciplines that I wanted to explore as well. There's one called neuroaesthetics, and this is the intersection of brain sciences and beauty. And at the bottom of this slide, I've got to put on my glasses for this one. I just was on Global Wellness Institute is awesome. If you have not ever looked at their website, they have a weekly mastermind group. And the presenter yesterday was Dr. Ajahn Chatterjee. So he is a fellow of the American Academy of Neurology. And this is a new area that he is exploring called neuroaesthetics. And basically what this is, it's on the study of how might beauty contribute meaningfully to wellness. And that is beauty from everything of looking at art to listening to music, to maybe bringing in food. And then also he's bringing in beauty because beauty is not his area of expertise, right? Neurosciences, but he's looking at these different areas of how we are creating beauty and how it makes us feel so that we're flourishing. And I thought one of the interesting things is that this is not beauty from a, I look good. It's more of how we identify in the world and how we're feeling in the wellness world. Another area of neurodisciplines is neuromarketing and the emotion economy. So neuromarketing, there are different companies out there that practice neuromarketing. And basically what it is when they're putting new products out as a brand, they're actually putting panels under MRI type of evaluation so they can see in the brain what's being stimulated. So, this would be a great piece for us in the beauty world to see what goes on. What are we triggering as people are using products? The other piece of this is the emotion economy. So again, there are companies that are kind of out there, but they're evaluating different expressions on the face when there's different pictures that are being presented to the panelist or the consumer. Oops. Back that are being presented to the consumer so they can track the emotional part of what is available and what they can focus on. So it's good for us to know all these things because as we are brand developers and brand marketers, we are going in I would say in more of an inner space that we really haven't explored before. And this isn't going away. This is really our future. All of AI, the fourth industrial revolution. That's another area to really, if you kind of look at a few YouTube videos on that, it's very interesting because what they speak about is all of the technical advancements that we have right now and how we are kind of being moved in this robotic space. One second. So if we were to take all of this information, and I only pulled one or two categories here, what are our opportunities in wellness, and kind of looking at from a neuroscience perspective as well? Definitely the spaces of sleep and the senses, the value of that market is 49.5 billion. Again, I pulled this from the Global Wellness Institute. Meditation and mindfulness, we spoke about that earlier as far as wellness, and self-improvement as well. People are looking to see how they can really thrive, not just thrive. I would say thrive and flourish instead of surviving in the we're not really, I wouldn't consider us post-COVID yet. I think we have a way to go, but we're trying to get out of it. So all of these things in wellness are the areas I would say is categories that we can certainly create new products in. And then the product collections could be well-being resource boxes. So for example, if I'm working from home, I can create a resource box from my little desk at home, whether it's a pain relief cream or a spray that revitalizes my skin after I've taken a break from my digital engagement from being online all day, to maybe some type of calming or soothing fragrance that I smell. Product offerings also as a collection of rituals, because we have been so inundated with so many new processes to take on. We are just doing a favor for our customer if we're creating the ritual for them. Give them the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. Make it easy. Don't make it complicated. But definitely going back to these practices of ritual, of calming down, of stepping back, of going through a process. All the different types of lifestyles that we pretty much have taken on and in this new space, whether it's working from home, new athletic spaces, being in the home more, and personal care. There's a ton of different products that we can offer in that space. And then offering that sense around experience. And sense around is something that I coined like 15 years ago. And it's pulling all of these aspects into product development. So it is the 5 senses, but it's more of a feeling, and it's a feeling internally that we're going after to help our consumer to really be in that space that they want to move into. So that is my presentation. And again, these are the just different areas that I work in. And I guess I am open for questions. Yeah.
Sorry, I was sorry.
I was like, am
was
I on mute? I just went
yeah.
through, oh my gosh, did I just do that whole presentation on mute? Okay.
No. I was muted. Thank you, Cherie. That was really intriguing, presentation. It looks like we do have some questions. Here we have one question. Okay, what is the next trend in the well-being sector?
What is the next trend in the well-being sector?
Yes.
So the next trend in the well-being sector, I think that we are still walking this out. I think especially this month is Mental Awareness Month. I don't even think this, what has happened is that we're talking more about mental health. So what is the next trend would be, where are we meeting people? Pretty much everything that I just mentioned as far as our emotional connection, our daily awareness. We are so much more aware of what we are doing today than we were a year and a half ago. We're aware of our schedule. We're aware of, if we have kids, where our kids are. We're aware of how we're feeling because we're being asked how we're feeling so much. We're aware of our physical health because our temperature is being taken depending on where we're going. So I would say putting that into the mix of where wellness is going is for sure mental health, and then physical health too. We know and are being made very much aware of our lifestyle.
Thank you. Another questions here. Any tips can share with us on how to navigate changes successfully?
How to navigate changes successfully. Changes successfully in your brand now, or? So let me answer that question. This is how I'm going to take the question.
Okay.
Navigating changes successfully. I
Mhm.
would say, first of all, have a plan. If you are a brand already in existence, have a plan before you move out into navigating changes successfully. And then also engagement with community. Make sure that the community that you're speaking to is a community that welcomes the change that you have in mind for them. Because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're creating a product or creating a brand, but then there's no attraction to your target market. So first the plan, and also with that plan, make sure the communication is very clear with your target market of what they're looking for.
Thank you, Cherie. And we have, I'm just reading the chat here. Cherie, are you available for private consult?
For private consulting? Was
Yes.
that a question? Sure.
Yes.
So there, if on my screen is still on, you can reach me, Cherie at beautyedgeinc.com. My phone number is there as well. And I just, and I know it sounds like self-promotion. I know it sounds like this, but on my website, there are this is for educational pieces, because I love to, I've been in the beauty industry for quite some time, and there's a lot that I have to share. And I can't answer everyone's question, but on the website, I do have articles that I've written through the years about product development, about trends, about ingredients that you can read through. They're all free. And it's from, I've been fortunate to work with companies like Avon, being in R&D and marketing, so seeing both sides of what goes on. So you'll find some articles there as well that you can read too. But feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you.